I'm doing a giveaway. Stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can enter to win. What is up, everybody? I'm No Lux Given, and today we are going to be taking a look at a game of Storybook Brawl where I am up 6 XP, which is just incredible. I've never done this before. It's part of why I love Storybook Brawl. You can always find new things that you've never found before in the game, and part of the reason that you can never really be up 6 XP is you just don't have the time to find all of that XP. However, when you are playing with Skip, the time skipper, time is on your side. Mad Catter also on our side as they cast a shrink spell on turn 1 and don't hit us for any damage. And then on turn 2, I'm going to pick up a prized pig, and this isn't going to be one of those skip games where you just get an early prized pig and steamroll the lobby from there. We're playing up against a Sharon on turn 2, which is going to significantly impact our ability to win, and I realized that. That's why I didn't lock onto that shop. It had Princess Peep and another 3-cost unit, which wasn't good, but maybe I could have gone Peep plus the True Love's Kiss or something like that. Either way, really glad that I didn't, as a Genie's Wish in our shop on turn 3 casts a Turkish Delight. So now we're up 3 XP already by turn 3. Next turn, we are going to hit 4.0 as the rest of the lobby hits 3.0, and that is what is really going to allow us to get our big lead on the game. I don't go for the Water Wraith because a 3-3 and a 4-2 are comparable, and maybe this Ogre Princess can get us some econ in the same way that, well, this prize pig isn't, because it is not big enough for the time being. But I don't mind donating a little bit of gold to the lobby, and here we get to actually start to turn the game around already. Just being able to pick up one 4-cost unit. Fairy Godmother, pretty good, especially when the rest of the lobby is on 4.0, and we can also pair that with a Princess Peep. We'll go ahead and pick up the Peep now, and then I'll throw in a free roll. And the golden chicken that we got from the Ogre Princess was also quite fabulous. Obviously, we cannot undersell that. For next turn, I am eyeing up the fact that we could have a Sherwood Sure Shot plus a Lonely Prince, and we do want to spend some time picking up some lower costed units, because those tier 4 units, we just don't have enough gold to be picking up too many of those. We won't have the golden chicken every turn. We are going to get another sleigh with Ogre Princess, and then we are going to have prized pig survive and get another sleigh with Ogre Princess. So we got a little bit to work with here, though still. I'll be able to now also pick up the Good Witch. Shout out to yesterday's video, but we'll be able to pick up the Good Witch as well because we got that extra econ from the prized pig. So it's just about organizing this board from that point and figuring out which of these units do we want to support. Do we want to support the Peep? Do we want to support the Frog? Then I see a Friendly Spirit, and well, I kind of want to support that. We're gonna have to sell 3 things to purchase it. So we could sell off the Ogre Princess, we could sell off the Sherwood Sure Shot. I'm going to wind up selling off the Ogre Princess. Maybe we could have sold off the Sure Shot instead, but I just thought it was really strong to be able to pick up a Friendly Spirit here to go along with the Princess Peep and the Good Witch of it all. The Friendly Spirit is going to wind up dying relatively early on, so it doesn't pass off that many stats, but you can still see we've got an 8/16 Princess Peep, which is awkward. Typically, stuff has high health after the Peep dies, but it doesn't matter. We are going to make it out of this combat alive, and with our prized pig surviving, which is really good for us. The fact that we are now just getting bonus gold while also being 3 XP up on the lobby definitely makes me feel pretty good about our position, and it actually makes me feel good enough that maybe I should wish upon a star here and try to expand on this lead even further. And I'm thinking that if I do that and sell 2 of my characters, I can also pick up Gingerbread Knight, which is only a 7/7 at this stage of the game, but it's a 7/7 that's going to get a bunch of bonus health from Fairy Godmother, and for that reason I think it's actually strong enough to play here. Now that I'm cutting this prize pig, I can also put the Friendly Spirit in position 4 while still being supported by the Good Witch. which is going to allow some other things to die before it and give us some extra health on that friendly spirit. We're going to watch a few of these sheep die. So now this friendly spirit is giving a massive buff to the good witch in the back line, and that's going to be enough to win the combat, get another bonus XP, and now we are up 5 XP on the rest of the lobby, and we're going to be level 6 next turn. So while there's some temptation to take Gingerbread Knight, to take Court Wizard, I also want to start transitioning to the end game. I'm at 36 health and up 5 XP. Nyan Sea Terror is probably going to help me a little bit more than just picking up some royals and things like that. So I wound up picking up the Nyan Sea Terror here, but we get up 6 XP in this game, so I'm actually also going to wind up picking up this Genie's Wish after debating what else I want to do here for a little bit. I just pick up the Genie's Wish and then roll a few times, and the Genie's Wish actually gives me a Turkish Delight, which is pretty crazy. So now we are level 6. We are 6 XP up on the rest of the lobby. This extra XP didn't really matter, but it did for the clickbait, so I will definitely take it. I thought about locking onto Robin Wood plus Friendly Spirit next turn because we would have had exactly 9 gold to be able to pick up both of those characters. However, I want to make use of my XP. I want to roll and try to find some tier 6 units and transition this board into a board that can win the game. And we find some tier 6 units. We find an Oni Tyrant and an Echo Wood. Oni Tyrant just very good on tempo and very good with the fact that we already have 2 monsters on the board, and it does also synergize with the Echo Wood. But I want to pick up the Echo Wood regardless, because basically whatever end game comp that you wind up playing, you want Echo Wood to be a part of that. So we are going to wind up picking up both of those tier 6 characters on this turn, and nobody can say we aren't level 6 now. Oni Tyrant will give +10/+10 to the Friendly Spirit when that attacks, and then +10/+10 to the other characters as well. But then when the Friendly Spirit dies, that'll give +13/+14, and then all of those bonuses go to Echo Wood as well. So I'm hoping that we have done enough here to put something really strong together. But even if we start to take a little bit of damage as we transition into a higher end comp, I think that this is totally acceptable. Unfortunately, Friendly Spirit is going to get targeted, but it does look like we will have enough stats to battle past my opponent's Telltale Quiver, and their backline full of ranged units. So we take out the Horde Dragon there, still sitting on 36 health, feeling pretty good about ourselves, and then we get to pick up Nyan Sea Terror and pick up a tier 5 treasure. That's pretty sweet, and from here, there's 3 really good options. When we've got no treasures, no direction, any treasure can be good. Helm of the Ugly Gosling isn't typically a treasure that you think about as far as late game potential. I do think it has some applications here. The awkward part is that it wouldn't be able to pump up the Good Boy. The Helm would always hit the Echo Wood, so I'd have to find a buff for the Echo Wood still. Excuse me, before that. That just makes it a little bit awkward. And then I'm going to wind up selling for a unit, picking up a Tweedledee, which also will pump up the Echo Wood. That's a nice little feature there too. And yeah, I just take the Monkey's Paw, basically for tempo, but with the idea that there is a Good Boy in the shop, it seemed pretty good to me. Unfortunately, we are going to get pretty owned here by an opponent that has a pair of Lightning Dragons, but even that isn't enough. Even taking out our 2 level 6 characters isn't going to be enough to get my opponent the win. Then I pick up the Good Boy because we picked up this Monkey's Paw. Then I roll, and I have some decisions to make, to be totally honest. We could pick up Jormungand's. They're still really large units. You gotta remember the rest of the lobby's on like 4.2 right now. So Jormungand's can definitely be enough to win this combat though. Not super synergistic with what we already have, and I wind up deciding that even though I just purchased the Good Boy, I'm gonna sell it. And I'm gonna try to go into Trees. I think that Trees is just a very, very straightforward comp when you're up this much XP. We could have also tried out some Good Boy shenanigans, though. When you see the Ashwood Elm here, I thought that that was a good enough thing to pivot into. Not super interested in the Jormungand's because they need a lot of support, and they're not really good with the Monkey's Paw that we already have, whereas at least the Ashwood Elm will scale a little bit off the Monkey's Paw, and we can get some late game utility out of that as well. we are going to easily beat our opponent, the Fates here. 36 health, just absolutely killing it, and feeling pretty good. Feeling a little bit bad that we find a good boy in this shop, but I'll pick up the tree, we'll pick up the Robin Wood here, and then we'll just roll and try to find ourselves a few more trees. And I find a dream spell, which I think is a pretty good pickup here as well, because we've already used our hero power or skip, and maybe this can help provide us some additional direction or incentives. I think the mask could be strong. Pied Piper would be good if we had held on to both of those good boys, but I also think Grandmother, just +5/+5 to everything, is nothing to sneeze at. So going to wind up transforming into the Grandmother, or Big Bad Wolf rather, and getting another +5/+5 on all of my units, and feeling pretty good about the current board. Ashwood Elm's going to pump up all of my trees, and then Robin Wood is going to pump up the Friendly Spirit, which is always a good target to have those bonus stats land onto. And with Oni Tyrant and Echo Wood, we're definitely still killing it for this stage of the game. You can see that it is currently still 5.1, and we've just picked up so many high-level units. So definitely still feeling really, really good about our chances. Kind of a ridiculous game, to be totally honest. Not really going to focus on Robin Wood. Here's where I realized that we are now into the top 3. And this game might not be over. You can take a look at the runtime on this video, but we've got a full health trophy hunter, an undefeated trophy hunter at the top of this lobby, and that's pretty scary. So we are probably going to need to put something else together, because we are not the only high roller in this lobby. So here, I definitely love that we picked up an Echo Wood, and now we get to pick up our first Burning Beard, which is very good. I am also going to pick up Hercules first before I pick up Burning Beard. Main thing is we have 36 health, and I know that I'm taking a risk here by playing this against the lobby leader, but I want to start getting those Hercules activations as soon as possible. And awkwardly, my opponent gets a slay with a mummy, and we don't even get any hits onto Hercules. So that part is a little bit awkward. We're going to wind up taking some damage, but we are still sitting pretty at 23 health. So not too shabby, not too bothered by that. Just going to wind up rolling and trying to find some more trees. I'm also going to slot Hercules into slot 1 now, and hope that that is just a little bit better for us, that way it will be able to get some hits in. It'll actually get up to 42 attack from the Robin Wood, which doesn't quite be enough to allow it to activate in 2, but if it can stick around and get 3 hits, then we'll grab it right now. If not, I don't mind taking a little bit more damage to activate it later on against the Trophy Hunter. I think that is definitely worth the gold and worth the health. There's a lot of really good high-level treasures that function well with trees, so could definitely go for that. Also could consider locking the Pigomorph here to beat the Trophy Hunter. The reason that I don't do it is that just lets me win one time, and I'm not interested in winning one time. I'm interested in building a bigger board. One win is only going to deal, what, 8 damage to the Trophy Hunter, bring them down to 30. If I just waste my time casting that many Pigomorphs, we're going to lose this game. So we've got to find something that will build our board even bigger, and that is potentially going to start with some tier 6 treasures. We'll pick up a tier 6 treasure out of Echo Wood here, and the only thing better than tier 6 treasures is, of course, tier 7 treasures. Tier 7 treasures are really, really good when we are working with trees. So definitely excited about that, and I'm actually pretty excited about this shop here in particular as well. It seems kind of weird, but this shop has 2 really important things going for it. I think for this turn, I'm just going to wind up playing this Friendly Spirit, but if we activate our Hercules, then we'll be able to Shard of the Ice Queen the Hercules and potentially grab an upgraded Ashwood Elm or Echo Wood for next turn. So that's really good. That's the main thing that I'm considering here, as silly as it seems to lock for a Shard of the Ice Queen. But the other thing that we have is a Lordy, and if we get the World Tree, it it would be a really nice speculative pickup to be able to immediately grab a Lordy and really add some power to our board. And we already have some nice power with the fact that we are denying our opponent their slays here. We are going to take a little bit more damage, but now we are going to get our tier 7 treasure, and it is the Black Prism. So that's pretty interesting. We did get the upgrade on Hercules, and we are going to get another tier 6 treasure. Wand of Weirding and Mimic Chest both kind of function similarly with the Black Prism, so I'm going to take Mimic Chest. I think that there's more potential for upside with other potential treasures in the future. Then I go ahead and grab the Lordy before casting Shard of the Ice Queen and flipping over my entire board. That's going to give us an upgraded Ashwood Elm for now, because that's going to flip again into an upgraded Pumpkin. And I'm taking a look to see what our units are going to turn into before I decide which treasures we want to replace, and this is absolute madness. We wind up getting 3 upgraded pumpkins here, and I wind up transitioning into a full scam board on the final turn of the game. I pick up a Cupid as well, and we are still going to play down a unit. My opponent with a bunch of mummy triggers, but us with a bunch of pumpkins. We are at the pumpkin patch here, just so many pumpkins, and I'm curious if this will be able to scam my opponent or not. My opponent obviously has a pretty good sleigh board put together, but all of our characters in the front row are getting plus 30 attack from the Mimic Chest Singing Sword, and then an additional plus 12 from the Mimic Chest Monkey's Paw. So my characters are pretty big, and that's enough to hit my opponent for 21 down to 17. Total scam out of nowhere, a whole bunch of damage. And we can even pick up another pumpkin. Why not? Why not? We are going full pumpkin at this point. Pretty silly, pretty crazy stuff. Not sure the best way to even order this board at this point, if we want to put some stuff in the front, in the back. I don't know. This is pretty crazy to just get thrown into a full scam comp like this, and we get to pick up another pumpkin here, and that'll definitely help us to be able to play all of the characters that we want to play. From there, I'm going to take Spear of Achilles or Wand of Weirding. I think also could have been good, but I'm just going to take another treasure so that way I can replace my Monkey's Paw, and that way I can play a 7th unit next turn, and hopefully we will be able to scam my opponent again. We'll see how it works. Mummy missiles versus a bunch of pumpkins. We'll see how this one goes. They're going to take out a few of our things. They're also going to slay with Friendly Spirit. So this is going to be a close one, but will we have the stats to take out Jormungand and take out their huge backline ranged units? I don't know. It's going to be close. It's definitely going to be a close one. Our Rotten Applewood winds up attacking, so that's a little bit awkward. We've got a bunch of Cupids and a bunch more Rotten Applewoods here in the back line. Is it going to be enough? It is actually super close, and my opponent survives with at 1.1 health on a Baba Yaga. Here, we get to pick up a Medusa. We survive with 7 health, and Medusa is a really, really good character when we are trying to get our scam on against this trophy hunter. I do consider picking up a health potion here because 1 health could help us survive in some weird scenarios, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to roll down and try to find some better scam. Don't really need a Cupid here either, and really just looking for like a Pigomorph or something silly like that. Another Medusa also could potentially be good, but I think that I'm just going to roll with this and hope that we have put together enough pumpkins to do something good enough here, and we'll see how this one goes. My opponent going to Pigomorph one of my pumpkins, but we are going to get that attack in with Medusa, which is going to scam some of their stuff. They are going to get some mummy slays though, which is a little bit scary, but we get to attack back with the Monster Book, and my opponent does not have a huge backline here. They've got pretty small units other than the Shadow Assassin, and we get to take out their Jormungand right there with our Cupid. So it's a close one, but we will wind up getting the win. Only 13 damage to bring my opponent down to 4, so we still have a little bit of a game to play yet. And at this point, I'm basically just rolling for spells to try to find something to put onto this board. Wind up finding a Drink Me potion, which doesn't give us anything super great on first look, but Hermes Magic Beans is actually enough of a scam spell, I think, when we are working with Medusa. Trophy Hunter really likes to attack first, and if we get to start attacking with Medusa, there's, I mean, any 4 of his things that we can attack into would all be quite good. This shop, we see another pumpkin. I don't think that it's worth replacing the big bad wolf with a pumpkin. There is also an Echo Wood, which could potentially do some good things by the end of the brawl, but just too big of a chance that it would get scammed in either case. So not going to worry about that. We are going to get our Slay in with Medusa, and we can see that my opponent switched into a good boy comp, which is not going to be good enough. They are not going to be able to slay with the good boys. But this is actually still an interesting game because now this mummy gets to continually attack, and every time it does so, it fires off some more mummy missiles. And if they can take out our pumpkins before they take out our other stuff, like if this hits onto the pumpkin, could actually be pretty good. So now it's just 1 pumpkin versus a mummy, and well, we actually had more than enough stats to take them down here with all of this craziness. This was one of the craziest games of Storybook Brawl that I've ever gotten to play. We had the 6 XP lead, which was just absolutely incredible, and of all of the tier 7 treasures that I was thinking of, Black Prism was not one that I expected to have such a big impact in the game, but it was all because I locked onto that shard of the Ice Queen, and then we were able to just totally scam my opponent from there. That is going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace. This week's giveaway word is level. Each week I use a new code word. That's just to distinguish who's commenting for which week, and the reason I have you guys say a code word, that way I can tell who is interested in the dust and who's just commenting to say hi or that they enjoyed the video, stuff like that. You can definitely do both, just make sure you include this week's code word. You can also enter as many times as you want per week, once per video. You can go back, leave comments on old videos, just make sure they include this week's word, but there's no limit to how many times you can enter, other than, I guess, the amount of videos that I have. And I've been putting out a bunch of Storybook Brawl videos since last October, so yeah, there are a bunch of opportunities to enter to win. You can go through the backlog and watch some of those, but it's been really fun to receive the comments from you guys, get that level of interaction. You can also come join me on my Discord, which I'm trying to grow right now, just so that I have feedback on my titles and thumbnails and things like that, but I also have some fun ideas for special game modes that I could make work with lobbies of players in the future. So feel free to check that out as well. There is a link to that in the video description, and help me climb on my way to 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting there slowly but surely, and thank you guys all very much for your support.